Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amelia and I post new life and style videos every Wednesday at 4 p.m. So I was going to film this for just a quick little intro, but it quickly turned into a 20-minute video, and then I was kind of like, you know what, let me just say my piece and then I can just edit what was supposed to be this week's video separately. I would just personally feel remiss in not addressing or even having just a little call to action in light of the Black Lives Matter movement and of course in light of George Floyd's murder. This time definitely feels different. The energy around this feels different. Maybe I'm just older and more socially aware, but I've heard adults say it too, that this time feels different, and I really hope it is different, and I hope we can have a true systematic change, and that, you know, goes to me beyond police brutality. It's a systematic change across all boards and sectors. You know, you have the police, government, education, higher education, the beauty industry, the fashion industry, the music industry, the sports industry. Literally everything, right, is somehow in some way affected by this. I can really only speak for the beauty industry, and even that is pushing it, but you know, in an industry that I really like and admire. Why, when Fenty came out, was it mind-blowing at the shades that Rihanna put out? When people have been those shades since the beginning of time, right? That shouldn't have been oh my god, wow. But it was, because no other company really before her did that. Now more companies are, and you know, you watch YouTubers reviews on foundations or whatever, and they say this brand has a ton of shades or they don't have a ton of shades, and they want to support brands that are inclusive. You know, inclusivity is so important, something that has been lacking so much. I know American Revolution, got America on the mind. Makeup Revolution just came out with contour powders that are made for black and brown people versus the tan that I can get away with. Do you see how pale I am? Clearly the brown tan that works on me does not work for someone of color, because I am a ghost. You know, we're kind of 2 weeks out. Your timelines are probably going back to normal, as I've seen the memes say. So really just wanted to kind of make this a video as my thoughts slash what you can do personally, because I think it's really important to know that we each can do something, no matter how small. You know, this is probably mostly for white people, as I think we've really been woken up to what's happening and really looking inside ourselves. As Logan Paul said, it's not enough to just not be racist. You have to be anti-racist. So when Logan Paul says something smart, you know shit's wild, because that doesn't happen ever, but it is so true. You know, I've always been yeah, I'm not racist, but what have I done in my personal life to not prove it, but to push a change forward, no matter how small? And it's probably nothing. You know, I've watched and read some things, you know, kind of about the truth of the systematic racism. You know, 13th on Netflix was an amazing film. I definitely recommend you watch it. So from there, you know, I definitely started looking into things more and saying, you know, what's going on. And then moving to Philadelphia was definitely an eye-opener. You know, I was just exposed to a completely different dynamic between cops and minorities. You know, I grew up on Long Island in a predominantly white neighborhood that was middle to upper middle class, so there was really zero run-ins with police like there are in Philadelphia. You know, things that I never had to know about or deal with or see because that wasn't what I grew up with. Like, wow, how different lives can be. And it has, I think for the first time, like almost made me thankful, where I'm like, wow, thank goodness I moved away and I have just a new, more worldly kind of a look at everything that's going on, and just from a different perspective. Again, I cannot understand firsthand what that has to be like, but I am listening and hearing and taking it in when, you know, I would have conversations like that, or just in passing, you know, things that kind of make you go, that's different, or wow, I never had to think about that before. I think a very important post that I saw going around was the one of like, what is your role in all of this? You know, not everyone is going to be the protester who's picking up the already deployed tear gas can and throwing it back, right? As soon as a tear gas can would get thrown, like, I'm out, I'm running. You know, I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like fighting, I don't like arguing, none of that. But what I can do is what is in my range of influence. You know, here's my video to the 63 subscribers and whoever else watches this and me talking, and maybe something will resonate, or maybe it'll just make you angry, who knows. If you follow me on like my social media, you know, I've been reposting as much as I can resources that I find helpful and I find can move this forward on a personal level. All those websites that have like the lists of every resource you need to know, and I'll link, you know, most things that I talk about below, so you can also see that. But charities, petitions, organization, movies, books, podcasts, like whatever is in that category, I've been trying to share, because maybe one influencer, one movie, one book will resonate with someone and just give them a different perspective of the situation, or realize, hey, actually this little portion of this huge problem is something that I am passionate about, so how can I help and get involved in there? You don't have to do everything. It can totally feel overwhelming to be like, oh my god, this is a huge problem, like what am I supposed to do? I think if you see a resource out there that you found helpful, share it. If you signed a petition, share it. You don't obviously have to post what you donated, just say, you know, here's a great organization to donate to. Some people's helping are just donations, some people's are protesting, some are the people who are going to write the bills in the government, some are the ones who are just going to entertain us in this time, and others are just going to have the job of, in your little small circle of influence, your friends, your family, what can you do? If you're like me and enjoy makeup and shopping, I would encourage you to look for companies that are owned by minorities. You know, I posted something on my Instagram of Black-owned businesses in Philadelphia, and there's actually like a homeware company that I'm really excited to buy stuff from, because one, I need that stuff, and two, it's helping a small business, which is also something that I'm passionate about, and it's helping a Black woman, or looking into what makeup is more inclusive. You know, I've seen a lot of things go around of, oh, now this beauty company wants to talk. Well, in 2016 they did this, looking at you, L'Oreal, which was upsetting because that foundation is great. So can I go through my beauty regime, and when I need to restock in something, can I restock from a different brand that I wouldn't really have bought from before because it's like a smaller indie brand? And then when someone says, wow, your skin looks flawless, which is not right now because I just worked and I'm barely putting on makeup, but anyway, you know, who is it? And I say, oh, it's Beauty Bakery and it's owned by a Black woman, and then they say, oh wow, that's great, and then they go buy it, and then from there it just kind of snowballs. You don't have to feel like you need to solve racism, or you need to be at the front lines, or you need to get up in front of Congress and amplify, whoa, you can why can't I say that word? You can amplify Black voices so they can tell their stories, so more people know what is going on. You can buy differently. Dollar is, what's that phrase? Like, the dollar is the biggest voting power you have as a consumer, but it's true. We always cancel brands or people for doing things. Well, don't buy their merch, don't buy their stuff. Okay, this was like a ramble of I don't know what for the past 20 minutes, but I kind of felt it had to be said because it's just the way that I've been feeling, and I think that buying differently and following different people is a really small but important step that we can all take without feeling like so overwhelmed. And I'm not saying stop all like the other governmental work. Like, if that's your thing, go for it and keep signing petitions and keep sharing everything that you can, but it's going to take a long time, and I hope that these small changes will be able to influence your own circle. So not only systematically, but socially as well. We can eradicate racism because like we just sent someone to the space shuttle and then their pod came back totally intact, so there's no space junk, but we still are judging people based on the color of their skin, which is so crazy and mind-boggling to me. All right, my battery is going to run out of power. So I thank you all for watching. Encourage you to switch up your timeline. I'll link some things below. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.